One question I'd like to ask the Muslim community is, when will it be right to be Muslim and gay?
It should be, why can you not be religious and gay?
The thing is, homosexuality is not accepted in Islam, so the Muslim community will never accept homosexuality in a whole. But you being gay, not on a judgmental level, you can be gay, but then at the same time, if you choose to follow a religion which prohibits homosexuality, then you can't turn around and ask, when will they accept for you to be gay?
You know, when I told her I came out, she's rolling water on me, and it was devastating to me.
Her Catholic Church, which considered her an abomination because of her sexual orientation.
I heard the rabbi speak and talk about the terrible gays and the gay agenda and how they are an anathema and everything against the Torah and Judaism.
I'm Jason Daniel Fair. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. My parents are black, Jewish, but guess what? I'm also gay.
I talk about issues of being Muslim, gay, and British in today's society. And essentially these labels, you know, they shouldn't fit well together, but here I am, and I refuse to give one up over the other.
Of course it's okay to be gay and Muslim and Christian and non-religious and whatever. You know, this is the 21st century, and you know, not only do we have the laws to support this equality, we also have changed a lot of hearts and minds in this country in the past 20 years about issues around equality.
And of course there are many Hindus who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, asexual, etc.
I actually ended up being baptized 4 times because I was convinced that if I couldn't pray away the gay, then I could wash away the gay.
Right.
But that did not work. I accepted that I was gay when I was about 19. And in that moment, I realized that I needed to find a way of being faithful to myself and my authentic identity, and also to the church in whatever form that took.
Holy scriptures in Hinduism, such as the Vedas or the Upanishads, don't mention any anti-LGBT sentiments.
Slavery was accepted and justified by religion. Let me finish. The Quran explicitly and literally, let me finish and make this point. The Quran literally allows for slavery, as does the Bible, but we no longer practice it because our attitudes and interpretations have changed. There is no one Muslim community, there is no one way of interpreting things. If he wants to identify as being Muslim, as this gentleman here said, Abdullah, he said he's not going to tell him he's not a Muslim.
If you're familiar with Hindu theology, you'll notice several LGBT themes throughout. There are many forms of deities that are considered genderless, or represented as both male and female through various incarnations or characteristics.
I'm a Christian, and I'm also a lesbian, and I believe that we are all made in God's image.
So God wouldn't punish you for your sexuality because it's something that you're born with, and your sexuality doesn't put you at any spiritual disadvantage.
I knew that I loved God. I knew in a distant way that God loved me. If God wanted me to be straight, then God would make me straight.
God does not exclude anyone. That is a crucial first point. And everyone has the right to define for themselves what their identity is. And we all have identities which quite often are contradictory. We all have to find some way of navigating that, of remaining faithful to our vision of God while also remaining faithful to who we are.
Hindus out there who condemn sexuality, especially on the basis of religion, should probably do some reflecting on their own faith. Everyone has a right to be happy as long as they don't hurt themselves and others. And Hinduism welcomes everyone to recognize divinity within themselves and others. In a religious sense, being LGBT is seen as any other quality someone is born with, as a result of one's karma. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good or a bad thing. It's just destiny or fate. Just as some people happen to be born male or female, short or tall, some people just happen to be born not straight. If you're born short, you shouldn't live your life pretending to be tall. Similarly, if you're born gay, you shouldn't live your life pretending to be something you're not. This would be going against the dharma in your current life.
And very simply, to love someone isn't a sin. No religion really is preaching hate. It's about love. And if there's 1.5 billion Muslims and 10% is gay, that's 150 million lesbian and gay Muslims, and people need to stop hating and start loving.
5 years ago, when I was graduating high school, picking which yeshiva I would go to in Israel for the year, I never thought that I'd be sitting here today so happy and so proud of who I am. Because it's hard to be proud of who you are when your community tells you not to be. When you feel that no one around you will accept you.
If you stick through it, if you hang in there, if you live long enough, you'll find that not only do you grow older and more mature, but everyone around you also grows older and more mature. There will be a time where you'll feel like you're wanted in this world, and you'll feel like you can give something to this world, and you'll feel like you're accepted and loved. But you just have to stick it out. You just have to live through this really hard time.
For people who are struggling with their sexual or gender identity, my only message is that they are wholly and completely loved by God, and that their sexual and gender expression and identity are beautiful.
I feel like